what we're going to do is solve. And since we're going to solve from 0 to 2 pi, in some of these we should see two answers, because we know if we go all the way around the unit circle, oftentimes there's more than one answer, right? So there could be two answers. So I'm just going to solve. Plus 3, 4 sine theta equals 3, right? Divide by 4, divide by 4. Sine theta is equal to 3/4. Now, if it's on the unit circle, it's easy. We just have to find it on the circle. Unfortunately, 3/4 is not. So since it's not, we're going to have to use our chart, right? Our reference angle chart. We're going to use our chart because it's not in the unit circle. So I go to my chart, and what I see on my chart is this. So I've got sine of some angle is equal to a positive decimal, like 0.75. You okay with me? I mean sine of angle, sine of theta is equal to like 0.75, right? So I'll say just take the sine inverse of that. So I'm just going to go sine inverse of my 3/4, and that's going to give me theta, right? Now again, check my mode. Check my mode. Radian mode, right? Radian mode. Okay, got to be in radian mode because of the pi. Quit. So then I'm just going to go sine inverse of 3/4, and one angle is about a 0.85, okay? So theta 1 is going to be 0.85, okay? Now, we talked about the fact that there might be two answers. In fact, there are. So to find the second answer, I use my chart. And I go here and I go, okay, well, the second angle is just going to be pi minus theta, theta 1. So I'm just going to go to get theta 2. Theta 2 is just going to be pi minus my 0.85. So I'm going to go pi minus that answer, and I get about a 2.3. So theta 2 is about a 2.3, okay? Questions? Thumbs up? Okay. Everybody okay with that one? Okay, example 2. Example 2 is going to take some algebra. What I'm going to do is common factor. They both have a sign in common. It's going to help me a little bit, so I'm going to put a 1 right there because it's going to help me a little bit. I'm going to put a 1 there. So I'm going to common factor out a sine theta. So they both have a common term, and the common term is sine theta. If I common factor out the sine of theta, I'm going to have a cosine theta minus 1. Right? Now, I've got two separate equations. One is going to be my sine theta equals 0, and my other is going to be my cosine theta minus 1 equals 0. Okay? So I'm just going to take my two equations and find out when they both equal 0. Okay, now sine of 0, that is on the unit circle, so I go to the unit circle, sine's the y value, and it happens at 0 and pi. So I get two answers. I got theta 1 is 0, that is an angle, and theta 2, I get pi. Okay, there's my first two radian answers, all right? Second one, we're going to go ahead and bring over the 1. Cosine of theta equals 1, okay? Cosine's the x value. Where's the x value at 1?
0.
At 0, and that's it. So we've already counted 0. You could put theta 3 as 0 if you want to, but it's already been counted, hasn't it? So you really just get those two answers.
Wait, Mr. Davies, I'm confused with
This pi right here?
Yeah.
Great question, okay? So sine's the y, right? So here's a y value of 0.
Okay, gotcha. I was looking at this here.
No, that's okay. I did that the other day, didn't I? Right? All right, number 2. We're going to have to factor, but of course you guys are really good at factoring now, aren't you? So if I had a 2x squared minus 5x plus 2, just a little side work, right? A little side work, factoring, right? And that would factor into, okay? Well, the only way I can make a 2x squared is with a 2x and an x, right? It's the only way, right? Stefan, how you doing? Don't fall asleep on me yet. Okay? It's the only way I can get a 2x squared. You guys agree? The only way I can get a 2 is a 2 and a 1, but to make the 5, I'm going to put a 1 here and a 2 here. Okay? Think about your double smiley, okay? There's my 4, my 1, right? Think about your double smiley. There's your 4. And for both negative, I'd get a negative 5, right? Yes, Taylor.
I'm sorry, but for the pi,
Right.
and
Yes, great question. You brought up one of the really good question. Okay, super good question. Okay, look here. So it says it can equal 0, but not 2 pi, right? So 2 pi and 0 are the exact same spot. So we'll count the 0, not 2 pi. Now, if you had written 2 pi in the quiz, I would never have marked it wrong. Okay, because technically you're right. Okay, but very good question, Taylor. Okay. All right, back to this one. Okay, you guys okay with my factoring? Let's go back and rewrite this, though, instead as a 2 sine theta minus 1 and a sine theta minus 2 equals 0. Everybody okay with that? So change it from x's to sines, right? I mean, I only did this side work just to help me factor it, right? So the only reason I did this here is to help me factor it, okay? Let's factor. I have two different equations that I'll set equal to 0. I'll go 2 sine theta minus 1 equals 0 and a sine theta minus 2 equals 0, okay? Well, I'm going to go plus 1, so I'll go 2 sine theta equals 1, right? And then I'll divide by 2, and I'll get a sine theta equals 1/2. I like that. I like it because it's on the unit circle. I'm on the unit circle. I don't have to do work very hard. Annalia's looking at the right spot. Sine's y value about, how about pi 6 and 5 pi 6? Do you see it for 1/2? Do you see it at pi 6, theta 1, pi 6, theta 2, 5 pi 6. Okay, how's that? Now we have the other half to do. But you guys are going to see how easy this one is. Sine theta equals 2. Can't happen. Can't happen. What's the highest up you can go in the unit circle? 1. You can't get to 2, can you? Throw that one away. There you go. We're just about done. Flip it. All right. Okay. Example 4. Now, there are going to be 6 answers. Okay, there's going to be 6 answers, okay? And I'm going to show you why. First of all, let's go through this. Add 1, divide by 2. Let's go first. Cosine of 3 theta equals 1/2, okay? And I'm going to draw a picture so you can see why there's 6 answers, okay? So if I draw a picture, and we've done this before, because remember, we're trying to find our answers between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, so we're going to go between 0 and 2 pi. I know that if I were to do a 3 cosine, I'm going to have 3 cosine curves, 3 cosine curves. I'm going to have 3 cosine curves between 0 and 2 pi. So it's going to look something like this. Just a visual. You don't have to draw a graph. I will. Okay. You all right with my picture? It's not perfect, but I really have 1, 2, 3 cosine graphs in 2 pi. Okay, you all right with what I've got?
Yes.
Okay, does that make sense? A little bit of sense. So if I had a height of 1/2, I should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 answers. Okay, I really should see 6 answers, right? For a height of 1/2, okay? So I'm just going to first solve it like I normally do. Okay, I'm just going to go along and I'm going to look at the unit circle and say, okay, when is cosine equal to 1/2? Cosine is the x value. It happens in a couple of places. It happens at pi thirds, okay? So I've got 3 theta equals pi thirds. And it also happens at 5 pi thirds. You guys see it at 5 pi thirds? So if I also have a 3 theta equals a 5 pi thirds. Okay, how am I doing? Okay, so I just looked at the inner circle. Where's cosine equal to 1/2? It occurs at pi thirds, and it occurs at 5 pi thirds. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we haven't solved for theta, so we just have to solve for theta. So I'm going to divide by 3, and this is going to be a pi ninths, right? Now, if you get a little confused on how to solve, well, one way you could always do multiply by 1/3. Does that help if you multiply by 1/3 and you can see it? Is that an easier way to see why it's ninths, right? Same thing here, you can multiply. So you divide by 3 and you get theta equals 5 pi ninths, okay?
I wasn't really paying attention. How did you get to 3 theta equals 5/3?
Great question. So go to the unit circle, okay? Where is cosine equal to 1/2? Here, and here. So pi thirds and 5 pi thirds. So it's in a nutshell, it's kind of like this. If I had cosine of anything, let's call it just alpha, right, equals 1/2, then that alpha is going to equal pi thirds, and alpha 2 is going to equal 5 pi thirds. Okay, you with me on that? Except for alpha in this case really is my 3 theta, okay? Well, I didn't confuse you with alpha. It's just another crazy Greek letter. Right? Okay, so then what I've got is, in a sense, 3 theta equals that, right? And then I just divide by 3, divide by 3. Levi, does that help a little bit to explain that, okay? All right, now, from here then, there's got to be 6 answers, right? So, real quickly, watch. So, from here to here is really 2 pi thirds. From here to here is another 2 pi thirds. From here to here is another 2 pi thirds, okay? Really, because you took 2 pi and you broke it up into 3 parts. You took 2 pi and you broke it up into 1, 2, 3 parts. So you took 2 pi and you broke it into thirds. You took 2 pi and broke it into thirds, right? So we've got theta 1 and theta 2. So this is theta 1 here. This is theta 2, okay? So to get to theta 3, we've got to add 2 pi thirds. So theta 3 would be pi ninths plus 2 pi thirds, okay? And we could get a common denominator and make a better answer to that, which I will later. I will take this answer, okay? I'm going to make it a better answer here in a second. Theta 4 is going to be this angle right here plus another 2 pi thirds. This angle here plus another 2 pi thirds. So we're going to take my 5 pi ninths. We're going to add in my 2 pi thirds, okay? That's theta 4. Okay, now I've got an angle way over here, okay? So this angle, this angle is add 2 pi thirds, add another 2 pi thirds, right? So this angle, add a 2 pi thirds, add another 2 pi thirds, gets me all the way over here, okay? So we take this angle, theta 5, which is your pi ninths. So take my pi ninths, add a 2 pi thirds, and add another 2 pi thirds. So I'm really going to add 4 pi thirds, okay? So this angle here is the exact same reference angle with this one, except it's 4 pi thirds away, okay? This angle right here comes from this one, okay? So you take this angle, theta 2, add 2 pi thirds, add another 2 pi thirds. So theta 6 is my 5 pi ninths plus 4 pi thirds. Now, if we wanted a better answer, we could get a common denominator, right? So we can make this into, ready? Let's see, 6 ninths. You okay with that answer, 6 ninths? So a better answer for theta would be a 7 ninths pi. Did I lose you? Okay, good. Somebody do fractions. Hallelujah. So another answer would be, say, wait a minute. If I wanted to add, this is the same thing as a 6 ninths.
Could we just leave it as the first?
You can. I like that better. Better. Okay. 6 ninths. So this would be an 11 ninths pi. Right. Multiply by 3, so it would be a 12 ninths. So this would be a 13 pi ninths. Multiply by 3 and 3, so I get another 12 ninths. This would be a 17 pi ninths. Okay.
For all of them, do you get like a half point extra?
Yeah, I'll give you extra. If you give me common denominators, I'd give you half. I would definitely give you half a point extra. Yes. Okay. Last one. Okay. You guys ready?
All of that is just, see this.
Am I okay? Slide it up. Okay. Now, we're going to need an identity. Okay. So I need my identity sheet. And Wyatt, you have my identity sheet, which is no big deal.
I gave it back.
You did give it back. Let's see if I can find my identity. Oh, here's my identity. Thanks, Wyatt. So I need an identity. I need an identity for this. So cosine 2 theta. Let me do a little bit of a, right? Put it over here. So the cosine of 2 theta. What's that identity? So I look at my sheet, identity sheet. Look for my double angle. Double angle. Aha. Here it is. So I have a choice of this one, or this one, or this one. Okay. I'm going to pick the second one. I'm going to pick the second one because it's sine, and this is also sine. Does that make sense why I'm going to pick the second one? So I'm going to make this one be a 1 minus a 2 sine squared theta, okay? I'm going to use that identity and rewrite that. So everything's in terms of sines, right? It makes it easier for everything to change the same thing, okay? So to do this, I looked for my double angle formula. I found an identity. I had 3 choices, but I picked the one I liked, okay? Sines only got one, that makes it easy. If you've got a sine of 2 theta, there's only one identity, okay? So let me replace this. So I'm going to go, okay, this is sine theta equals a 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. Okay, I'm going to do a little work on the side. A little side work here. If I had a 1, if I had an x equals 1 minus 2x squared, okay? Just algebra. Just algebra. That's an x. And you had to solve for x. Just solve for x, right? What would you do? Yes, we got to factor. You're totally right. Before we factor, you're totally right, Dylan. Before we factor, let me make it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to bring that over. I'm going to go at 2x squared plus a 1x minus 1 equals 0, okay? You okay with that? So in order to factor, Dylan's totally right, I need to factor. So let me rewrite this as a positive 2 sine squared theta plus a 1 sine theta minus 1 equals 0. Because I brought over the 2x squared and I brought over the 1, okay? I brought over the 2 sine squared theta and I brought over the 1, okay? Are we good at that? Now this might factor algebraically if I use now a little bit of algebra. 2x, x, right? Am I going too fast or am I okay? Am I okay? So then, all right, I need multiples of 1 and 1. That's easy. 1 and 1, positive, negative. Okay, check your double smiley. Check your double smiley, but I think you're going to see that my factoring works. Okay? So then, let's do the same thing here. Let's do it. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
So really, I got a 2 sine theta minus 1 and a sine theta plus 1, right, equals 0. And then, am I going too fast? So I'm going to set this equal to 0 and this equal to 0, right? 2 sine theta minus 1 equals 0 and sine theta plus 1 equals 0, right? Okay, I'm going to solve. Madeline's already on top of it. You're already looking at that U circle, aren't you? So if you solve, I got a sine of theta is equal to 1/2, right? James is already looking for it. So where does sine equal 1/2? Pi 6 and 5 pi 6. Capiche? Capiche? Minus 1, I got sine theta equals -1. Where does that happen? 3 pi halves. Okay, you have your very last homework assignment. Very, very last homework assignment. Isn't that awesome?